start again, please?
We'll just cut it out.
No, I'll cut you out, man. You think this is a game?
Cut your mum, Bev.
We ready?
Yes.
Let's play it.
All right, ready? It's going anyway, so
What's our intro again?
we don't have one. We
No,
just
we
say
don't
we'll just welcome back.
Oh, yeah.
That's your new intro.
We
Right?
go.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Super Podcast Bros. We've got a special treat today.
Special guest, live in the flesh.
We've gone from a 2 to a 3.
A duo to a trio.
We've only, if you're an avid listener, if you're one of our 4 avid listeners, you would have heard the Easter egg of the third brother a few episodes ago, but he's actually with us in person today. Do you want to say hello?
Yeah, hello. Unfortunately, I'm one of your 4 avid listeners, so that's now 3 people that have been waiting for me to come on.
They're expecting an invite as well now.
Yeah. We're not even related. So.
It's gonna get crowded. But yeah, today, so we're gonna be following on from our Marvel castings last week. Last week it was just X-Men. This time we're gonna do a bit of a wider net. I've got a set, Chug's got a set, and then Micah in the middle will be judging our picks, and then he'll have to decide and vote on who the casting is.
The final say. So, although I know you are one of our 4 avid listeners, would you like a quick rundown about how me and Judah are going to structure the MCU? Because I know you've definitely listened and just forgot.
Yeah, now let's have a quick.
So basically, we kind of, a few episodes ago, we decided that we were going to really focus on the X-Men kind of being like the centerpiece of the MCU going forward, with Fantastic Four, with Spider-Man, with a few cosmic kind of things going on. Doctor Doom was going to be a big bad. We were going to kind of accumulate everything into a Avengers versus X-Men fight, probably in like 5-10 years.
Wow.
And yeah, we were going to try and really just focus on the big ticket players that Marvel's got. Hence we've cast a lot of X-Men. We've done a lot of X-Men ideas.
I've seen that you've already done a few. So just out of interest, am I judging your ones already picked, or are you gonna throw some new ones at me?
Yeah. So what we'll do is I will put forward a person. I'll make an argument, and Chug will put forward a person. He'll make an argument, and then you can see both. You can look at the actor and say, oh, whether it's better or not. You got your phone, and you can decide whose argument, like justification's better as well.
I really wish you hadn't said that I had my phone, so then that way it could just seem like I was just naturally just. Oh yeah, I know him. It's not gonna be him.
To be fair, Josiah has a good mix of ranges of like popularity. Everyone I've put in is A-list. Like I don't.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's not the best casting director activities for me. So
a lot of budget going on the salaries for this one.
Yeah. So the special effects may take a hit, but we will see.
So although X-Men's a big ticket items, we obviously have just recently cast a lot of X-Men. So we thought maybe we start on the Fantastic Four castings.
Yeah, that's a good place to start. Definitely.
So we know that they have been officially cast.
Mm-hmm.
We've got my favourite character in the world, Mr. Richards. Who, and for those of you that don't know, which is probably everyone, I actually hate Reed Richards with a passion, but they've made him Pedro Pascal, which is a bit of a conflict for me internally, because I quite like him as a person, but he's now playing the worst character in all of fiction.
Give us why do you hate him so much?
He is so out of touch with reality, but keeps calling himself the smartest man in the world with no emotional intelligence.
I feel like a lot of smart people are like that, though.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're smart and you've almost destroyed the world 15 times with one of your inventions, you don't go and make a 16th one.
Valid.
Mm.
I don't know how he's got into the Illuminati. He's got 4 friends. Like, everyone else on the Illuminati actually has, like, influence. He's just smart and he's
one
just
of
there.
them's evil now as well. One of his friends.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how he's in the Illuminati. Every decision he has, like, spearheaded for the Illuminati has been terrible. Hurting the Hulk, chose the wrong side on Civil War, blah, 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 right? I just don't like him as a person, and his powers freak me out. I saw a panel the other day of him like stretching his eyeballs so that he could see further. Why?
I have a question. Do you then think it's okay that Sue Storm sleeps with Namor all the time?
I co-sign it completely. And sleeps it gives the idea that actually she stopped doing that. I hope she's still doing that. In fact, I hope she's still doing that, and Reed Richards has absolutely no idea that the rest of the family does.
So what you're trying to say is that you think that Reed Richards is a beta male cuck?
Oh,
Is that what
he's a
is
beta
that what
male
you're
cuck.
saying?
If ever I've seen one. If ever I've seen one.
Sorry, Pedro Pascal.
So yeah, Reed Richards has been cast. So Sue Storm was
Vanessa Kirby.
I
think that's a good casting.
I think so too.
I like that.
As someone that's seen a few things that she's in, I think she's a really good actress.
Yeah, definitely. You know the Thing from somewhere, don't you?
He's a cousin from the Bear.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's a good casting. That's a very good casting as well. I
It's
think.
Johnny Storm that you don't know.
Sorry, Johnny Storm.
Yeah, he's the one from Stranger Things.
So I think they've done alright there so far. But who are they going to be fighting? Who are going to be the adversaries to? Or in my opinion, actually, I'll start with someone who I think should be seen more as an anti-hero for what he's done to Reed Richards in the past. So, what's your Doctor Doom pick? Who's going to be my favourite character in the MCU?
My Doctor Doom, his name is Mikhail Huzman. I could not find any Romani actors that kind of fit the bill. So I went for somewhere in a sort of a central to eastern region of Europe. That's not him, sorry. It is Dario Naharis from Game of Thrones, if you can remember him.
I'm so bad at the names.
Yeah, it's too many.
With the Faceless Man?
No. So the one who's like Daenerys' right-hand man.
Okay.
So him, right?
Okay.
I figured Doctor Doom's whole shtick is that he thinks he's like the best-looking person, right?
Yeah.
So it's got to be someone that not only looks good to other people, but you can imagine they look at themselves and think, yeah, like, I'm the bee's knees.
He smiles in the mirror a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's not too young, so he kind of matches the age range of the Fantastic Four. But he doesn't have... He looks mature, but he doesn't look old. He's not covered in wrinkles or anything.
I get you.
But yeah, he's from Holland. I'm not sure what his background is, but he's not actually from the Middle East. Like they make it seem like in Game of Thrones.
Okay. I actually don't mind that pick at all. I have gone in a slightly different direction because I think the voice of Doctor Doom is really important as well. So I've kind of cast two people. I hope you don't mind.
Okay. Like Darth Vader.
A little bit like Darth Vader, actually. Yeah, actually. So again, along the pretty boy kind of route, but still intimidating enough. I've gone with Luke Evans.
Okay.
Fast and Furious, a lot of BBC dramas.
The Hobbit.
Yeah. So I could see his eyes behind that mask. But then I've also I've gone with someone called John Noble, who's one of the leading like voice actors. And I think the best way, I think it's more important you hear his voice rather than see his face. So I can share a little snippet with you. Give me a second. What do you think of this, Mike? So this is him playing Brainiac in Superman Unbound.
Not big on people skills,
That's Superman.
Oh, I know this guy's voice. Yeah.
You should not exist outside my control.
Okay.
That's the kind of like gravitas in the voice I'm kind of trying to hear. So those would have been my two picks in one, if that makes sense.
Is this where I pass judgment?
This is where you pass
This is where I
judgment.
pass judgment.
He's put 2 against my 1, so
Yeah, I was
let's keep that in mind.
say it's a bit harsh on Josiah. Just out of interest, Josiah, would John Noble be voicing Doctor Doom when like he's in full Doom mode, or when obviously I'm not sure if they're doing an origin story, but imagine they are. Would it be Luke Evans' voice, and then when he becomes Doom, suddenly like it's John Noble, or is John Noble just doing both?
We were kind of leading away from origin stories, really, weren't we? So I was kind of seeing him as maybe Luke Evans in flashback, but the voice
Is John Noble
with the mask on and probably consistently.
Not even just saying, there's 2 really solid picks. I didn't realise that Mikhail Huzman, did you say his name was? I didn't realise that was Daenerys' right-hand man, right? It was like, Princess, my princess. Yeah. He was good. I liked him in Game of Thrones. Luke Evans is another good choice as well. They both look like Doctor Doom. Because you've picked two, I'm going to go with Judas.
That's fair.
But I like the idea of having John Noble as a voice because obviously I've watched the DCAU and I don't know voice actor names like that, really, other than obviously like Mark Hamill, like being the Joker a couple of times. So I didn't realise that's who that was. I think that's a good pick for his voice. So you both won, I guess?
We'll do, point. He's a scarecrow in the Arkham games as well. I didn't realise.
So he's got a bit of
Okay, he's got
range.
range. He's got range then. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. To be honest with you, Josiah, look, Darth Vader, Darth Vader leather.
We got another big bad for Fantastic Four. I don't know if you've cast Galactus.
I have. I stuck with my pick.
Who did you say again?
I said Matt Berry from Toaster London.
Yeah. Okay. So you've went voice centric, haven't you?
Yeah. I think I don't know. For the face, you can kind of do anything. But just so Micah has an idea, because you'll recognise his voice when you hear it. Yeah, so maybe not his face, but
Giving me the curse of eternal life, and thus making me a bloodthirsty creature of the night.
I can hear that. I can
I
definitely
beg your
hear that.
pardon. We went. Put my heavy heart.
being a bit silly. I've never seen him in anything serious, so I don't know if he could put it
But
on.
those are sometimes the best castings, though, because I mean, you know, it's the old the Bryan Cranston trope, isn't it? Where you're watching a guy who normally makes you laugh. Because he's evil, it's almost more chilling, isn't it? Because it's like, why is he's supposed to be Malcolm in the Middle's dad? Like, why is he selling drugs? Do you know what I mean? I don't hate that, Jay. I like that.
I was thinking all for the voice because I just thought he's massive, right? Yeah.
So, what is Galactus is? Galactus is a non-feeling entity, really, isn't he? Like he's just.
I know he's about to go crazy with this
he's
casting.
gonna cook.
Really.
He's
Like,
gonna
he's about to go crazy.
I don't think I'm going to go crazy because actually,
He's about to go do something bad.
I've actually seen this one, so I can't even take credit for it. I saw this one on Twitter. It seems to get quite popular, and I just think for me, I think it is probably the correct choice. So, I'm thinking No Country for Old Men. I'm thinking this force of nature that's just destroying everything in its path.
Lisan Al-Gaib.
It's Javier Bardem for me. Actually. I think he's probably got the face for it. His voice is nowhere near Matt Berry's. Don't get me wrong. But he probably could kind of do that voice.
He does have a very chilling voice because in like Skyfall as well.
Oh yeah.
He has been a villain in a few things. To be fair, I mean, he's kind of almost known as a villain, really.
Yeah, he's a villain now, isn't he? Like he's just gonna get cast as one.
Would you do his face as well?
I think you could do his face, but also. I think Galactus, as long as he's not a cloud, his face isn't really that important. So maybe it could be like a Thanos thing where he's mo-capped, so you can just tweak a few details on his face. But yeah, I think again, his voice is nowhere near Matt Berry's, but I think he could probably do something like that.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
Again, two solid choices. I'm finding this one hard because I would pick Judas off the strength of it not necessarily being a villain, but it could be quite interesting because of what he's been in. Whereas I think the more natural kind of choice is obviously your choice because obviously he's been a villain in almost everything that I've seen him in. So I think for that reason, I'm going to go with Josiah.
Okay, I'll take that one.
Fair.
All right, spice it up again. So,
I really decided that one as I was saying it. I really didn't know. Like,
we got there's probably one more major Fantastic Four character that's not been cast, and this is the one that I think is my most outlandish one. So I've got a Silver Surfer. Again, he's been beat down. The weight of the universe is literally on his shoulders sometimes. But he's low key one of the coolest characters in Marvel, right? So I thought, what's a character who's been beat down but is still one of the most coolest characters, and you can see the depression on him almost, but it's like the coolness kind of oozes through. And I thought, you can't beat John Wick, really, can
No.
you? So I've gone with Keanu Reeves for Silver Surfer.
He's pulled the Keanu Reeves lever early. He's pulled it early. Okay.
Fair.
And go on then, Jay. How are you going to counteract it? It's tough.
Yeah, I don't
Keanu
know now.
Reeves.
Because as soon as he said beat down, I thought, Keanu Reeves would be a good one as well. But I'll hold my hands up here. No.
Yeah, no.
No, to be honest, because I didn't put much weight on it because I think if you're not doing Origins, you could do a flashback, but like because it's all mocap or someone just painted silver, I didn't really put much weight on it, so I was probably just gonna leave it down to a voice actor.
That does make sense.
Go for it, Jay, because you don't know what my thinking is. I get to pick the winner.
No, but I've got nothing. I've
got nothing.
Truthfully, I've not cooked well on this one. If I was gonna throw something at the wall, I'll say Brad Pitt because he looks really depressed with his long hair. And then he can clean up nice on the mocap, and he's got a good voice, and that's it.
You don't have a good voice.
Yeah, I'm laying down on this one though.
White flag early.
Yeah, it's tough because if I'm being completely honest with you, I don't know if I want Silver Surfer to be somebody that big.
That makes sense.
You know,
Yeah.
I would prefer, because I think as well, like,
You
got to think about it from the Marvel point of view as well. Like, how many movies will they put Silver Surfer in? They might put him in 1, they might put him in 3, they might put him in none.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But it's like, if you do a Keanu Reeves or a Brad Pitt, and he's in it like 3 times in a row.
He's gonna have to be in it a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, they did it with Cooper, didn't they? As Rocket Raccoon. I don't think he's maybe quite on the same level as the other two, or maybe he is. I don't know, but I think you win by default. Really.
I got some big hitters.
It wouldn't have been the home if you'd put up like a decent argument. Like if you'd gone for like a good voice actor, Jay.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been the home run because I don't know if I love that casting.
Fair.
About 3-1 to Josiah, but let's think.
All right. Well, we're moving away from the Fantastic Four anyway,
away from them
and they're boring.
And to be fair, so Judo really wanted some more cosmic stuff now. So I feel like he suggested Blue Marvel with someone in mind. So enlighten us, Jude. Who you got for Blue Marvel?
So I actually hadn't thought of anyone for Blue Marvel at the time.
Oh, at the time, okay.
So I thought, well, this is a guy. He's meant to be, you know, before he retires anyway. This is a dude, perhaps late 40s, early 50s. He's got his grey hairs. And he's also a guy from the 60s who's now in the modern world who's just not aged. Yeah. So it's got to be someone that, like, just because, you know, you have some actors who are in their 40s but look young, I want it to be someone who looks good, because obviously it's a superhero movie, but looks their age as well. Do you know that makes sense? So I've not really gone anything too left field here. Blue Marvel is a very tall, very strong, very like physically built character.
American footballer, wasn't he? His character, I think, was
Is
American. I believe that's his origin story. He played American football.
There we go.
So he needs to be a Hulk.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that. But I also want him to be able to act. But he's also meant to be really, really smart. So someone who's got kind of... They're not just... If it was like a diagram, it's not just pulling one way on the personality scale. It's all over the place. So I did Idris Elba, which is not really that interesting. But I think in terms of age, in terms of...
We've got a problem.
Have you done Idris Elba?
You've done what I do.
He's already in the MCU, isn't he? Idris Elba.
It's Heimdall, isn't he?
Heimdall.
Oh, no!
Because otherwise...
Because it's a good casting.
It's a good casting.
But he's in the MCU already, Jay.
He is.
I mean...
Do your research, man.
They have done it. They have done it.
He's been in too much stuff.
But he's a big character.
We have to Google big black men now.
Josiah, talk.
Careful.
Josiah, talk.
Well, whilst you come up with your second
one, yeah.
I was also struggling.
Because I got one to fill the...
Go on then. Who would you have gone with?
I think if you think about like his age and his size, I don't think Colvin Domingo's a bad shout.
Oh,
That's
a fantastic shout.
Because he's got that like kind of young but old look.
Yeah. It's classic.
He's a perfect.
Yeah,
he's the perfect age as well. Oh, this is all just very frustrating.
Yeah,
you're supposed to be the judge.
Somehow Mike has won this round. Because I was struggling as well. I've been trying to. I've been trying to shoehorn Denzel Washington into the MCU forever. I want him to get his paycheck, but it's not going to work here. So I actually went with Morris Chestnut.
Oh.
I don't hate that.
I've never seen him with hair.
Can he grow hair?
That's what I'm kind of wondering.
You can make him bald,
He's
though.
been
don't
bald.
you?
Bold
since
at
the
this
90s.
point. Yeah. You just slap a wig on him.
Yeah,
Slap a little Jackson 5 afro.
He sounds. He's never really played a smart character as such. He's not playing dummies, but like he sounds like he could be smart. He looks like he could be an American football player. He looks like he could have been in the army at one point, and he must be pushing 60 now.
And the thing is as well, I think that kind of like you know how like vocabulary kind of like evolves, and you can kind of tell the difference between like a 60s African American and like a 90s one and like a 2020s one. I feel like he probably could capture. Obviously, his parents would have grown up in like that era, so like he probably could capture that quite well actually.
Have we got a
I like that shout, you know.
second draft?
We do.
Yeah. Is it gonna be Colvin Domingos? I don't know.
It's not. It's gonna be Sterling K. Brown. And so,
Good shout.
what people forget
Good
about this
shout.
guy is because he plays nice roles, he's absolutely
He's
stacked.
massive, isn't he? Nah, Jay might won.
So I'm thinking about This Is Us, is a very intellectual guy. I think Blue Marvel is very much a level-headed, calm guy, and I think that's very much Sterling K. Brown in real life and in his roles. I think he's the right age. I think the only issue would be is this the type of project that he would take on, as opposed to whether he would be good enough for the role.
Listen, as Denzel says, you throw 50 million on the table, and no one's saying no.
True.
So,
Well, hopefully that'll do it.
yeah, because he actually, he's you can see it actually. You can see him interacting with the other Marvels as well. He's not someone that always steals the limelight or steals the spotlight. But kind of elevates the base level of every scene he's in. Actually, I really like that shout. Actually, I'm meant to be arguing against you.
I like the shout.
Is he in a Marvel movie already?
He's in Jobu at the start of Black Panther. I forgot about this. So at the start of Black Panther, he's in Jobu. But like you said, they've done it before, and he was really only in that movie for like 10 minutes. Also, trying to pick like a black African American character that wasn't in Black Panther, it may only be Morris Chestnut and Colvin Domingo at this point.
And I
So
bet Morris Chestnut was in the background or something.
he may, maybe. To be honest with you, Jay, I like the Sterling K. Brown better than Coleman Domingo and Morris Chestnut, so I'm going to give it to you and just pretend that opening scene in Black Panther didn't happen.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He's going to change his accent. It's a different character.
Yeah. Or maybe it was Blue Marvel undercover.
Actually, I mean, hey, who knows? Antimatter. Antimatter plays a massive part in your plan, and when we combine them together, he still had a really important place.
Yeah, so Anti-Man, right? So backstory: the two of them are in the Korean War together. They come home and they're attempting to be scientists. Anti-Man's white, I can't remember his real name, and Blue Marvel is Adam Brashear, and he's obviously black. He then I think worked for the FBI to try and bust some like KKK rings and stuff, because he's like incensed by racism at the time. And so Anti-Man's brother is killed by the KKK, and Adam Brashear is constantly getting discredited because he's black. And then that sends him into like, he has a mental snap. And I think essentially what happens is they're researching the negative zone, and Anti-Man has the power. I can't remember what their powers are, but they oppose each other, and they're both to do with like the energies in the negative zone, but I can't remember the specifics. So I thought, right, this has got to be someone who can be friendly, but also we have to see the progression of a guy go from being too friendly for his own good to then being kind of like a nut, right? And I thought, who have we kind of seen across the board do a lot of stuff? Someone who, these obviously, they're guys in their mid-40s, so they have to look around the same age, but also be able to act like they've been living for nearly 100 years. This is a bit left field, but I cast Matt Damon, all right? So I thought he looks a bit older now. He's a bit more senior. We've seen him play some more like cerebral roles, like Good Will Hunting, and we've seen him play a lot of action roles, like Jason Bourne and Elysium, and like just a little bit nutty as well. So I'm kind of hoping that the three of them, because he has to be a bit unhinged, but we also have to understand it has to be realistic. It can't be like some cosmic thing that's made him crazy. It has to be real world issues has made this guy very cynical and very angry, and he wants to use his powers to like just, I think it's like at the beginning it's like to kill racists and like overthrow the government and make America like equal. So you would root for that, but you have to do the classic Marvel thing of, okay, it's kind of a well-intentioned, but the ends don't justify the means. So
Yeah. Another villain that we root for.
So that's a big A-lister. A big A-lister.
I told you I've got there's no B list in here.
There's
So.
also someone you mentioned earlier that I kind of grit my teeth a little bit earlier when you mentioned them. Because I was struggling with Antimatter. I didn't know him great as a character, so I did just get a very base knowledge of his origin story, and maybe focused a little bit too much on the guy fighting anti-racists, and my mind pushed me towards a certain actor, and I couldn't really stray away from them, and I thought it might be quite fun for them to be in the MCU, even if it is just for a movie or two.
Okay.
Sorry. So I went with I thought of Inglourious Basterds, and I thought let's just get Brad Pitt in the MCU. Similar sort of thing again, like killing Nazis. He started to enjoy it a bit too much, and you could see maybe if Inglourious Basterds had like a second movie, he kind of gone a bit too far because he's got no one left to kill, so he's kind of unhinged and just going even further and deeper into it. And both these actors have got the chops to really bring a bit of weight to a character. Both the actors have definitely got the name to bring bums on seats and to get them into the cinema. And then I just think Brad Pitt may be a bit more relevant to young people. That's the only argument I've really got, because I love Matt Damon. So
I think he could play I think he could definitely play like the pre, I guess, powered Anti-Man a lot better. He seems a bit more friendly than Matt Damon.
Yeah.
I think Matt Damon is a friendly person, but Brad Pitt is maybe visually a bit more friendly. But
yeah,
it all goes down to you, I think, Mike.
I feel obliged to mention, for anybody listening, for about 10 minutes, Matt Damon was in the MCU. He's in Thor Ragnarok. I don't know if you remember.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I don't know if you remember. So I think with that in mind, because I picked Sterling K. Brown, I don't think we can have two people in the same movie that were both already, even as cameos, both already in the MCU. So I'm going to go with Brad Pitt. If I'm being brutally honest with both of you, I don't love either casting. But yeah, by default, I think Brad Pitt takes it for me.
Fair
enough.
But this is the thing, it's hard. If you try and find any like big, maybe only Keanu Reeves, like Keanu Reeves and Brad Pitt, like the only two big actors.
I guess
and Denzel that haven't been like in the MCU at this point.
Brad Pitt was in Deadpool as well, so he's close. He's even been in a superhero movie.
Different universe. Universe.
So what's that? Is that 3-2?
I think it's
4-2.
actually 4-2 because Judah didn't do the Silver Surfer one.
Didn't turn up.
Right. There was some. I called them minor X-Men earlier.
Okay.
Which you found quite disrespectful. But run through the ones you wanted to.
Nothing minor about that.
So we've done a massive X-Men Explore in the past few episodes. I guess now we're just going to fill up the rest of the lineup and probably finish on the three big names that we've been trying to avoid for as long as possible.
So we decided to do Cable. Nathan Summers. We've got Mr. Sinister in both our. No, that's his name.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, because he's.
I had Nate Summers. My bad.
Because Mr. Sinister's in our movies, so we've got Cable for one timeline, and then we've got Bishop as well in another, and then will be having. No, Michael just whispered that they're minor X-Men. I'm not happy about
Come on,
this.
nobody grows up like, man, I wish I could be Cable. Like,
And in light
There's
of
a cosplayer somewhere who's throwing off their polystyrene arm.
in light of X-Men 97, we decided to cast Sunspot as well, in case we do like a X Factor or New Mutants or something of the like.
If we need an Elliot Page character in Inception to just introduce us to the team.
Yeah, exactly. And you've done Jubilee and stuff as well, so someone to be roughly around their age. So for Cable, I'm now scared to say names just in case they're already in the movie. But I've done Ben Affleck. I figured
no, I'm joking.
Oh, okay. Because I wanted someone who was
a good choice.
That's really good.
Oh, okay, because I thought physically he's already there, and like all you have to do is watch him as Batman to get that grit.
He's got the face of a man who's seen a few apocalypses, isn't he?
Oh, for sure.
There were those pictures of him smoking cigarettes outside his cars and his houses and stuff. That looks like a man who's seen some things.
He's had a bad. He's been
need
in
to
a bad future. Yeah, just let him turn up. So I figured.
That is good.
I love that shout, Jay. Even not even just like his size, pause, but like the way he looks as well, his face. Like he looks like he could be Cable. He just got to dye his hair like grey.
Yeah, that is good.
That's a strong choice. Josiah, I want to see what you're gonna put.
It's funny. My argument, I was about to say, how can I bring this down? Because it's a tough one to bring down. And I was actually about to say, he's already been in a superhero movie. He's not going to want to be in another, especially one that's done him so bad. And I just realised I've actually cast Ben Affleck's dad.
Jeremy Irons.
I went for Jeffrey D. Morgan.
Oh.
Who played his dad in Batman v Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Played Thomas Wayne. Again, thinking like he's got the size, he's right age. You dye his hair grey, he could look grizzled. He could look like Cable.
He's already greying. He is already greying, to be fair.
He's greying. So that's where I leant towards. How is he better than Ben Affleck? So he is. He'll be cheaper. He'll be. I've seen him do Unhinged. So like when you think what's his name in Walking Dead? What was
Negan.
Negan. So think of Negan in The Walking Dead. Like, so every now and then Cable kind of like he does a lot of the ends justify the means kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Jeffrey D. Morgan would happily argue with the X-Men who haven't had to go through an apocalypse to do whatever he thinks needs doing. I'm trying my best.
I'm going to put something out there. So Jeffrey D. Morgan is 57 currently. Okay. And if this is the beginning of the X-Men franchise and you want him to be in there for a while, that might make things a little difficult. Ben Affleck has just turned 51 and he is 6'4".
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And Jeffrey D. Morgan is slightly shorter and looks slightly thinner, I think just because he's old.
Yeah.
So I wonder, could he put on mass, a lot of mass, at his age?
You know them Hollywood steroids don't mess around.
He's losing his hair as well. So
I mean, realistically, it's the MCU, so if they wanted to like CGI like some muscle onto him, they could probably do it. They could probably
reverse Captain America.
Yeah, they could de-age him as well.
Where are you leaning towards?
I've got to be honest with you, just from knowing Cable as a character from the cartoons and from whatever else, that kind of like stoicism that he kind of has that can turn into like rage. Just from seeing how he did as Batman, I think I could see Ben Affleck as him more.
I agree with that.
But I like the Jeffrey Dean Morgan shout. I like him as an actor as well, but I'm just leaning more towards Ben Affleck.
Yeah, that was a hell of a pick, actually, to be honest. I didn't think of that. That is good.
Respect, man. I appreciate it. I thought of it about 10 minutes ago. I changed my mind on my previous pick. So.
Who was the previous pick?
Eric Bana from the original Hulk movie and Troy. Yeah. Because he's tall, but he's actually just really thin, so it wouldn't have worked.
That makes sense, yeah. I've got next on my list was Sunspot.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll need to Google this one.
Yeah, I don't know much
Michael
about Sunspot.
Michael Cinimo. So that's Cinimo. Done a lot of Netflix dramas and lower level dramas. He is Latino. I'm gonna get it wrong where exactly he is from.
I want to hear what you say because
I thought that was important.
I'm looking at his Wikipedia bio right now, so I want to hear where you think he's from.
How are you spelling that again?
Michael
Mm-hmm.
Cinimo.
Mm-hmm.
Semino.
Oh, right.
Oh, there's.
Don't tell him.
Yeah,
When you see
that
his
one.
nationality,
This
don't
guy.
tell him.
Okay.
I'm
Oh, it's the guy from Love Victor.
saying Colombian.
He's Italian American.
Ooh.
I thought Semino would have given it away.
Yeah, but I thought he was doing like a whole. Now I think about it, actually, he is Italian American as well. So actually, yeah, I genuinely thought he was Latino. I can't lie.
I got something special for you.
Italy is Latin, right?
That counts.
It's still European, right?
Right. Okay, well, looks like I'm about to lose. If you just get them from the right.
I don't
part of
hate
the
it
world.
though. I don't
He
hate the
looks like
casting
him,
though.
right?
He looks like him. I
Go
don't
on.
know a lot about Sunspot, but he looks like him.
What we got for you?
So, I'm just checking so I can get this right.
He's ferociously googling Latina actors.
No, I'm not, because Sunspot, the important thing about Sunspot, right, is that he's not just Latino. He's
Rich.
Afro-Latino.
Yeah.
So he's
yeah.
he's black Brazilian, right? And so bit difficult, not the widest of pools of talent for like
Neymar.
City of God.
to get Neymar. So what I did was How to Get Away with Murder, Rome Flynn,
Is that thingy?
Thingy's son, Sam's son. I think he's his son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's in. I think it's Raising Dion as well.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
recognise him. Okay, yeah.
So
He looks like he had a nice, rich upbringing.
Yeah, so he is, to be fair, he is 30, but you take that beard off him, he looks exactly the same as he did 10 years ago in How to Get Away with Murder.
Naturally, just looks quite young, doesn't he?
So that's what I was looking for.
Look at that smile. It's a joy to be around.
Yeah, he looks real jolly, right? So yeah, and I think he's already in superhero shape, and
So he's sexy enough for you.
yeah, he meets the sexy quota, and also he has
The
been
X in sexy stands for X-Men.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know.
sexy man.
Is there a way you can both lose this way?
Okay, right. Well, my Italian up against his actual Afro-Latino. So who you picking?
The thing is, though, wasn't Sunspot in one of the recent X-Men films?
He was in Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
And he was just a white guy in that. I can't remember who played him.
I think it may have been like Latino, but like his skin color was 100% white. Yeah.
So it depends what route you want to go down, I suppose.
Well, we don't want a DEI pick, do we?
It's this dude.
Yeah. So I thought so. Yeah, I thought so. I think that Rome Flynn, he almost looks like a cartoon character superhero. Like that picture you just showed me of him smiling, that looks like a cover of a comic book.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
4-4.
Fair. Yeah, I
Clawed it
like
back.
that one as well, 4-4. What a comeback. It's looking like Barcelona. So, Bishop. Should I go first?
Interesting one, yeah. Just
Yeah.
go first.
Yeah.
Trevante Rhodes.
No, you heard me. You heard.
Oh, you
You
picked
serious?
Rhodes as well?
I had two.
Right, okay.
But I'll let you land. Look.
I've gone off nothing other than pure looks. I think like he
Yeah.
could also do He could also like. I think I've seen him with long hair. I don't know where I might have. But again, if you rough him up a little bit, he looks like someone who could have survived an apocalypse. He's got the right physical stature. Yeah, and Bishop's not a major character to me, so I didn't put too much thought into it. But Trevante Rhodes is good in everything he does. Yeah.
Good
Can't say
age
anything
as
more than
well.
that. Good age.
Great age.
Great age.
So I had 2 picks, and I just showed them to you quickly to prove to you that I wasn't just hopping on your bandwagon. But I had chosen either Trevante Rhodes or John Boyega, and I chose John Boyega after watching They Clone Tyrone, because it's a Marvel movie ultimately, but like you said, he's from a very dark future.
That's funny because his character in They Clone Tyrone, obviously a very different tone of movie, but the character was very similar to Devontae Rose in Moonlight.
Yeah, so super serious, but also like he's kind of then ended up being the straight man in what is like a black comedy of a movie. But we have also seen him in other roles where he's a lot more lighthearted. So I think if he's staying with the X-Men for a while, you can see that progression of him perhaps lightening up a bit. And I think that's why I kind of put him in over Trevante Rhodes in the end, because I think Trevante Rhodes is very, very serious and it's very, very cool. But is he loosening up? Does it seem like he has a family? Like at the end of Moonlight, I just think John Boyega kind of fits the bill of being just a bit more goofy as well. He can be. He can seem like a jolly guy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So John Boyega, really, and he's got long hair. So
what do we think of the chances of them giving Bishop the Michael B. Jordan dreadlock comb over that they keep
100%.
giving all the black characters?
They've already written it. They ain't even cast it, but they've already written he's got that hair.
All right, this is what I will say. I like the John Boyega casting. I personally would want to save him for a bigger role.
Okay.
Just because of how I feel about him. I wonder if they'd done an X-Men movie, how big a role is Bishop really going to play?
Fair.
And seeing as you did both technically say Trevante Rhodes, I'm going to have to go for Trevante Rhodes on this one too.
Fair.
Actually, now I think about it, if I was arguing against John Boyega on anything other than his acting ability, he did say he's never going to work for Disney again, didn't he?
He did say that. I forgot about that. He did.
Which is actually a shame, because you're right. He could be massive in the MCU.
It might switch, because Daisy Ridley, not to argue my point, but just in general, Daisy Ridley had said yesterday or the day before, for her new Star Wars movie, she wants John Boyega back and she wants him to become a Jedi, because she feels that's how that story should have gone. So
they really sold us on that trailer, man. Right, let's get this last minor X-Men out of the way before we get to the real big three now.
Okay.
Cannonball. Alexander Ludwig. Again, he's had minor roles in other movies I've watched. But he's good. He's got the look. I haven't got much more to say other than that.
Definitely got the look.
Yeah, he's just cool, isn't he?
He was in Grown Ups too.
Well, he was in, I say minor roles. The one where I really learned about him was in Vikings, where he was a minor role, and then as the story progressed, he actually became the main character. But I stopped watching Vikings after he became the full main character.
Right.
But he was someone, again, thinking along the lines of young and attractive. He's been in quite a few YA movies where he's like the second heartthrob or whatever.
Right.
In Vikings, he was the son of the main character and then grew up to be the king. Yeah, that was just my pick.
Okay.
He was in Hunger Games as well.
Yeah, he was.
He was really annoying in Hunger Games. Kato, he was in Hunger Games.
Can't tell you.
He was one of the tributes in Hunger Games that you were supposed to hate.
Okay. What you got for me?
I've gone a bit different, because obviously Cannonball, I can't remember, I think it's X Factor. That may not be right, but leading a team of younger mutants. And so obviously roam with him. I did roam with him and he's 30. But I would put Sunspot, I just shove him with the real X-Men. But if I'm dealing with, like, I want there to be like a very visible difference. They're all young people, but like there's a big divide. So for me, I did Kit Connor. We spoke about him before from Heartstopper.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
And so he's actually 20 and he looks
Looks like a
possibly
child.
possibly younger than 20.
Yeah, he is 20. He's from Croydon as well.
Yeah,
That was it, yeah. Okay.
but he's just built like a brick house. Like he's stacked as well.
Well, how else are you gonna?
I've got to be honest with you, Jay. I don't know a lot about this guy.
I've
all.
only seen him in Heartstopper and the Elton John movie where he's like 12 or something. So
I mean, again, that's something that the X-Men and the MCU's done before. Kind of got near unknowns.
yeah. So for context, in Heartstopper, his whole thing is so in Cannonball, very much like a bit like Cyclops but younger. I think who is he dating again? He's dating someone who's really, really weird. It might be Pixie, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so in Heartstopper, he's like the most popular kid in his year. But like he's really nice. He's on the rugby team, but basically his secret is that he's gay, right? So you get to see like a lot of emotional character work from him, but also you kind of get to see him be like a very big, very socially attractive character as well. So yeah, it's kind of tough if you haven't seen it to kind of explain it any more than that. But that's my argument.
Just looking at him, looking at his age, he looks more of a natural kind of age fit. But that being said, Alexander Ludwig has looked like 21 for like 10 years now.
Yeah, he's got that vampire kind of.
Yeah. It's hard for me to really pick this because I don't know much about your guys' work at all. And like you said, Alexander Ludwig, everything I've seen him in, he's in it for like 15 minutes and then he's not in it. So I think we'll go with the let's say they're gonna do a few X-Men movies. I'll go with the younger guy just so that I know if Ludwig like turns 35 and suddenly starts looking 50. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he catches up with him.
Yeah.
Right, so hold on. As we go into the home stretch, because we've been putting these two off for a long time now.
It's 3 is. Did you do Wolverine?
Yeah. As I said, sorry, yeah, we've put these three off for a long time. But it's 5-5.
You guys gonna make me pick your Wolverine? Oh my god.
Wolverine, Professor X, Magneto.
Which one?
I'm gonna get killed. If I make the wrong choice.
All right, we'll do Wolverine first, then Professor X, then Magneto.
It's fine by me. Magneto's my favourite.
Magneto last.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know what? Can we do it this way?
Okay.
Professor X, then Wolverine, then Magneto.
Okay.
In that order, because that's my 3-1 in terms of favourite characters.
So
Okay.
how do you want to go?
So my Professor X.
Okay.
This is tough, right?
Can we tell everyone what you were doing downstairs earlier, by the way?
Earlier I went on to ChatGPT because the best person I could think of was Chris Pine because I saw him bald once and the image just stuck in my head. And it was I knew it was a horrible decision. And so I asked our dad what he thought, and he just went, "I'll just go on ChatGPT." He wasn't interested. I didn't get anything, so then I kind of I just sat in silence for like 5 minutes.
Well, you got something.
Yeah, I settled on David Oyelowo from he is Martin Luther King in Selma.
Oh.
Yeah, among other stuff. He's English. I didn't realise he's 48 as well, but he looks a bit younger. But if you let him be grey or bald, he can pass as his age or older.
Interesting.
And I think if you...
He's in The Butler as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'll say no less. Thespian acting chops, can play English or American, no matter how you wanted to do Professor X. Mm-hmm. And I think he has a kind-heartedness about him, but also he can have a steeliness and sternness as well.
That's the question. What are we doing here? Are we going for British Professor X, or are we gonna
take your pick?
Or are we just?
I have said before, like I now struggle. Even when I'm reading the comics, I read his speech bubbles in a British accent.
Patrick Stewart has like permanently altered everyone's perception of this character.
I've been on record before saying if he wasn't already Baron Mordo, I would want Chiwetel Ejiofor. So your choice kind of speaks to that a bit, where he's a British actor who's played American before, but he's got a charisma that makes you feel safe around him. But obviously, he's been cast. I've gone with... I've gone with someone who you can feel safe around. I've gone with someone who has a calming presence. He's now of the right age. I've gone with Ewan McGregor.
Ooh.
I had Ewan McGregor at one point as
Yeah.
well, but I
think
wasn't sure if he was too old for you or not.
We mentioned him in passing the first episode of Fixing the MCU, and I thought, I don't think we can do better than that. He's got to just shave his head off, hair off, and I think he could do it.
When you said feel safe around, did you mean that in comparison to Judah's choice?
Yeah, what's unsafe about?
Did you say you don't feel safe around the black man? Is that what?
We're not doing this for Judah's DEI. No. I mean, he's Martin Luther King. You feel safe around him, right? He did a great job of that as well. But I think that's just important for someone for Professor X to have. They both have it.
You need a calming presence.
You need
as
a calming
Professor X.
presence.
Imagine Obi-Wan's voice, like.
And I think it's important that you get a thespian like both of us who can argue with Magneto.
Yeah.
We've spoken about how it's impossible to replace Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen because they could bounce off each other so well. Ewan McGregor, I think he could do that to an extent. George Lucas did not direct either of them very, very well in the prequel series, but the way he could bounce off Hayden Christensen, you could see that actually he's got a natural inclination to do that. So yeah, that would be my pick. That would be my pick.
This might be cheating. I really like your pick, Judah, but as Magneto.
Ooh.
Just along the lines of, when you pick somebody that, what we said about Matt Berry at the start, where we said about he's normally played quite light-hearted, good characters, but actually because again, we might be cheating, I might be jumping ahead. The thing about Magneto is, or at least how I've forgotten the name of the guy who played him.
Michael Fassbender?
No.
Ian McKellen.
Yes, I can't believe I forgot his name. The thing about him is that you can actually feel safe around him. When he played Magneto, it's just that he could switch like that.
That's a good point.
Suddenly you're like, whoa.
Well, that's what I have done with my Magneto. But I had made the argument to Josiah before that I really wanted him to be Jewish, no matter what.
Yeah, that's another interesting point, because with the timelines, can you still do the Holocaust and Magneto still be a decent age? I'm not. You'd have to do some working around it, but
we addressed that.
I'm sure we'll get to that.
We came up with a really.
Yeah.
I think we did a good job of basically. They are dying at the start of the first movie.
They're
because
just
they are
old.
the age of people who have survived the Holocaust.
Okay.
But then they get regenerated in part to younger versions of themselves.
Interesting. I'm gonna go with Ewan McGregor on this one.
Racist.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna go with Ewan McGregor on this one, but
Fair.
I actually really like your choice as Magneto. But I would do something different with Magneto, but I don't know how that would go down.
Yeah, it all depends on how they write them in, because if they've just appeared, then yeah.
It's not going to make sense, is it?
But for what we were saying is, yeah, they regenerate, but also they in my timeline, the X-Men are kicking in the 60s. They're about and kicking, and then they remove themselves from the world.
Interesting.
And then they steal away mutant children in the night.
Interesting.
You're saying anything about in the night. You're making it sound sinister there.
Well, no, but that's the thing. So then there's people on forums and stuff saying there's people kidnapping children. Then anyway, so then Wolverine.
This I'm interested in.
Who'd you put down?
Again, it's a no-win scenario. I think even when you win, you lose, because it's not going to be better than Hugh Jackman. But sorry, I think you had the best choice. Taron Egerton.
He's even got the hairline for it already.
He's little, apparently. I didn't know that. He could do mutton chops. I haven't seen him do anything ferocious or anything, but Hugh Jackman was doing show tunes before he did Wolverine. So
yeah.
who's to say that he can't do it? I think just in terms of look, if you grow his hair out, give him some mutton chops.
Have you ever seen any fan mock-ups of what he would look like?
I ain't seen no fan mock-ups.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I saw a few Tom Hardy ones, but
It just looks so on point that you can't really thing. It would be one of those ones where if you were a casting director, I'd have him on the top of my list, but then I'd audition for like unheard of people who are unheard of. I would not have any other A-listers but Taron Egerton. I just think right height. He's really built as well.
Mm-hmm.
He can act. He can do his own stunts. He's young-ish, but doesn't look like a kid. It just works on every level. So, sorry, there's no decision for you
No
there.
decision to make.
We both said Taron Egerton.
I'm glad you both. I'm glad you both did. I think that's a good choice. I don't know who I would have gone for, to be quite honest with you, because it's a similar thing to the other two characters you have to choose from, which is that for a lot of people my age, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? In the same way, for a lot of people, Patrick Stewart is Professor X. So I can't really like profess to having one because I don't know who I would pick. But based off, much like Kit Connors, I don't know a lot about Taron Egerton, but the age and some of the stuff that he's been in, his background, probably makes sense as a long-term pick as Wolverine.
I think as well, we limit ourselves to short people, but when you look at it, would be a lot of work, and Disney don't really do that with like camera work and stuff, like in Lord of the Rings. But you could do someone taller and make them look small.
That's why Tom Cruise has never been in the MCU.
Yeah. So we're rounding it home.
Oh wow! So this is the decider as well.
The big one.
I think it's actually 7-6 to you.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Oh, is it?
I'm playing for a draw.
So we're playing for a draw here.
Okay.
Because you both agreed on Taron Egerton and Silver Surfer and what was the first one again? Who did we do first?
Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom.
Yeah, you did draw on there. So,
Cards on the table.
go on.
No. I'm telling you. Yeah, hit me with it.
Magneto is the one I put the most thought into, and the one I want to get most right.
Most important character, really.
I'm now looking at this, and I think I've overthought it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to stick with what I've got, and I'm going to try my best to argue it. Magneto is... There does have to be something slightly attractive about his charisma. There does have to be something that when he makes his arguments, you see the truth in it. I think that's something actually that X-Men 97 done really, really well, which is even when he's battling with himself. I think episode 2 did that really, really well, where he's battling with himself. That he knows he has to do the right thing for his best friend, but his natural inclination is for revenge. It is to be more militant than he's allowed to be. But yeah, still the little bits where he's talking with the words he's using is so eloquent. You can't help but kind of admire what he's doing a little bit.
Okay.
Even if it is warped.
I'm excited.
So I've ended up kind of going back to my Game of Thrones bias here. And I thought, who's a character that battled within themselves, but when push came to shove, always kind of reverted back to the side that everyone else is saying is evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think... I thought his arc in it was brilliant across 7 seasons. And I don't think anyone did it better than Jaime Lannister.
Ooh, okay.
So Nikolai Coster-Waldau. I've only ever seen... I hope I pronounced that right. I've only ever seen him in Game of Thrones and that movie with the cheaters. I don't know why I've watched that. Where he's married to like Cameron Diaz, but cheats on her with someone else, and then they find out he was cheating on both of them with someone else. So that I don't think that is going to come into his repertoire so much. But yeah, what he did in Game of Thrones, I think he could translate to Magneto really well.
Okay.
But
I've got to be honest, I love that choice.
oh really?
I love that choice. I love it.
I thought I would have put too much thought into it and then have looked too deeply into one small aspect.
I thought it was great as Jaime Lannister. I could see that translating into Magneto. I like that choice. No pressure, Jay.
I'm so cooked because I had put so much effort into forming my argument for a Jewish, British / American actor that was perfect. I thought
Sorry.
with his acting CV, and then I went on it just so I could reference some movies to you guys. It's Andrew Garfield, who obviously is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But he's appeared as Spider-Man in the movies, which is my issue.
Yeah.
Do you know what's crazy though, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate that casting either. I actually quite like, from the perspective of what I said before, of like, I think guys that aren't normally villains playing villains can be quite chilling. And I know it's a slightly different movie and he was a very different character in it, but you know the scene at the end of Social Network where he realised that he's basically been like cut out of the company. Like that screaming and that like emotion in his voice. Like obviously as Magneto is regulated, because Magneto is quite calm and collected.
But he's the good guy in that, and everyone can see the good parts of his aspect. But he's portrayed as the bad guy.
And that's kind of what I like about your Jamie Lannister character as well, which is that inherently Magneto sees himself as the good guy, right? And you need that, so you can't just cast like a straight up villain like you would Thanos or like you would Galactus. You have to cast someone that genuinely believes they're in the right.
Have you seen Through the Eyes of Tammy Faye?
I haven't.
Yeah.
Right, so it's about this woman and she goes to like Christian college and she
Sure, I thought we watched it at Christmas.
may or may not have watched.
Maybe we have.
But basically, he's like a young preacher, like a youth pastor, and he's like he loves God and he knows the Bible and he's really really nice.
Oh, and Andrew Garfield's the preacher. I
Yeah,
have
and
seen
it turns out like he's like sexually assaulting people. He's like having affairs, like yeah, and so like stuff like that. Well, okay, oh yeah, this guy's actually, even though he's bad, you can understand exactly why.
Yeah.
These people, like she was sticking around through all of that, and so yeah, so I have him, and if that is an issue, I'm just gonna chuck Joaquin Phoenix into the mix.
Too evil. Yeah. He's too evil.
But yeah, so I'm gonna stick with Andrew Garfield.
I really like that, Jay. I know.
That is a good one.
I like that. This is a cop out. This is a huge cop out. I'm gonna give it to you both because This is why. Because if you were gonna do what, I can't remember which one of you said it earlier about X-Men in the 60s or whatever. Perfect. Because I know he's like nearly 40 now, but Andrew Garfield looks like late 20s, early 30s, right? But if you were gonna go with the casting that we just went with, which is Ewan McGregor, then I can't remember, poor guy, Jamie Lannister, I don't know his real name.
Nikolai, it's Swedish, I think, isn't it?
They both make sense, but for different X-Men movies. So I think they're both great choices. I would watch Andrew Garfield Magneto. I would watch I'm just going to call him Jamie Lannister Magneto. So it's a cop-out, so I'm giving you both a point for that. Sorry.
I'll never forgive myself for not coming up with a Silver Surfer.
You come up with Silver Surfer, Jay. You just come up with it. It'd be a different competition.
Andrew Garfield, I think, is probably one of the best actors around.
And also, is he Jewish? There we go.
Know that, yeah. There you go. That's definitely a blemish on my pick as well. I don't think Nikolai's Jewish.
But I mean, you picked an Italian American man, a sunspot as well. Yeah. So at this point,
gone up purely visuals. But yeah, so let's run through it then. So if you want, I'm not gonna go through everyone we've cast. Watch previous videos. But for Galactus, we've got Javier Bardem. For Silver Surfer, we've had to take Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
For Doctor Doom, it's Mikhail Huseman.
No, we went with, but so it was one each, and it's Mikhail Huseman and John Noble was the voice.
For Blue Marvel, we've got Sterling K. Brown.
Great choice.
For Antimatter Man, we've got Brad Pitt. For Cable, we've got Ben Affleck. For Sunspot, we've got Rome Flynn. Bishop, Javante Rhodes. Cannonball, we've got Kit Connor. Wolverine is Taron Egerton. Magneto is Nikolai
Coster-Waldau.
And then Professor X is Ewan McGregor.
Respect.
I think people would. Well, I think people will watch X-Men movies anyway.
They can put me in an X-Men movie and then people will watch it.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I think that's our casting now, and that's probably really the conclusion of our fix in the MCU series as well. Actually, we'll see what direction they go in next year.
Yeah, we'll see what Deadpool's saying. I think as well that will be very important about where it's all gonna be.
And just so we're clear, this was filmed on the 1st of April 2024. We know you Hollywood execs like to steal our ideas.
James
that
Gunn
is proven. So if any of those castings are cast, run us our money.
Exactly.
Also, if anyone wants to comment and complain about my choices of casting, you're just gonna have to fight me. Sorry, you're just gonna have to fight me.
We'll send you his live address, and you can go to him and fight him. But yeah, until next time then. I'll see you guys later.
So then.